Greetings. So glad that you're here. It really makes me feel appreciated to know that you place confidence in what I have to share with you on a regular basis. So again, just thank you for taking time out of your schedule to hear what I have to say. And I feel very confident that you'll be blessed by what I share with you. Today I want to talk to you about 9 things that you might want to consider to do daily for rejuvenation and peace. I know that we're all seeking rejuvenation. We're all seeking to live very peaceful lives. And I just thought I'd share with you just 9 things. Of course, there are many more things that you might consider and many more things that I'm sure you're already doing. But if I could just add to that or just remind you or encourage you, inspire you, motivate you, that's what I'm here to do. So let's just start with what we can do the very first thing in the morning, as soon as we awaken from a very prayerfully and hopefully peaceful and restful sleep. The very first thing we want to do is we want to set the tone for the day. I'm sure that you would agree with me that what we do first sets the tone for the day. So it's very important that we are mindful of what we're doing first thing in the morning. And I think that beginning with prayer and gratefulness is a very good way to start your day. Prayer, of course, just reminds you that you can't do this all by yourself, that we all need to be guided by our Heavenly Father. And gratefulness just sets the tone for knowing that when we just surrender it all and just know that we're being led, that we can be grateful for what we experience. And that even though we may have challenges during the day, that we know that there's always a lesson to be learned. And anytime we learn something, anytime that we're taught something, we're very grateful, because once we learn something, we're never the same again. We have elevated to a higher level. And so we can be grateful. And so just setting the tone of the day, as far as the length of time that you have, that depends on your schedule, but just prayer and gratefulness is something that I would suggest that you do. The second thing that we all need to do is we need to hydrate. We know that when we awaken after a very long time of sleep, hopefully you're getting enough sleep, that the body is dehydrated because of what goes on during the time of sleep as it relates to rejuvenating, refreshing, renewing the organs. The healing process is actually what happens when we're sleeping. So we're dehydrated when we awaken. So I suggest to those who are able to tolerate citrus fruits that you have water and lemon first thing in the morning, and begin hydrating that body and getting it ready for use during the day. The third thing that I think that you would be blessed to consider is to make sure that you are very well nourished at the very beginning of the day. So I like to incorporate superfoods, super herbs, a very nutritious start to my day. And that can be in the form of a smoothie. You know, I'm really excited about my medicinal smoothies. A smoothie, some type of breakfast, but just being sure that you start the day with a very well-balanced, very nutritious meal, so that you are again very equipped and prepared for what you have ahead of you for the day. And then the fourth thing you might want to consider is to be sure that you include some type of movement. Remember, the last thing we want to do is stop moving. Never stop moving. Exercise, some type of exercise, some type of movement. You've heard, if you don't use it, you lose it. And that brings me to muscle retention. When you're including that exercise regimen, that exercise time, that movement time, don't neglect the retention of your muscle mass. So making sure that there's some strength training involved in your movement as well. Again, keep moving, never stop moving. And movement is very, very important for the lymphatic system as well. So it's not just about how you're going to look physically, but there's a lot that goes on internally when we're moving. And so exercise, as you know, is a very important part of being well, of being healthy. The fifth thing is to make sure that you include some type of creativity into your day. We're creative beings, and so we want to be creative all during the day. And so that requires an orderly environment. It requires that you have a cleansed atmosphere. And as you know, I have my own line of products, and so I keep before me those things that I need during my times of creativity. I have for instance, a bottle of oil that I have blended, that I mix together. You see this in a clear glass bottle. It really should be in a dark bottle. This is in a clear glass bottle because I keep this in my purse, so it really doesn't see much light. But you want to keep your oils in a dark colored glass bottle when possible. But so I have some oils that I can use during my time of creativity. I have some essential oil sprays that I mix up, and I keep those. I may want to spritz the environment that I'm in. We know that essential oils have many benefits. I'm not going to go into that now because I've done other videos on that and I've blogged on it. But the essential oils, sometimes I just want to be uplifted. There's some oils that help with creativity and such. So I mix up blends and have them available to me when I need them. Also, when you are preparing perhaps to go out, if you're still in the workforce, whatever your day may entail, you want to be as prepared as possible, but you also want to have a very convenient way of getting what you need during the day. And so I have, for instance, these tumblers that you can use, and I can take my hot drinks or my cold drinks and have them in the car with me, have them wherever I am, at my desk perhaps, but it's very convenient for me, and they hold a good number of ounces, so that makes it more convenient. I also have something that I can take an additional container, an additional tumbler with me, and this is specifically just for my hot herbal teas. I enjoy the hot herbal teas, so I can take them with me, and that way I'm still getting in the required amounts of fluids that I should be taking in on a daily basis. So just little things like that, trying to make it convenient so that it's going to be a lot easier for you to accomplish your goals on a daily basis. We also want to be very mindful to help others. Many studies have shown that when we do for others, we are blessed as well. So we want to be sure that we are very mindful to be instruments of love and of help and of healing. And when we do that, I've written a blog as well on gratefulness, that there's so many benefits to your spirit, your soul, and your body when you do things to help others. So let's always be mindful to be very helpful on a daily basis. It's really good to give. It really is to give of ourselves, to give of our creativity, to give of whatever gifts that we've been given. It's really good to share them with others. And there's no better gift than to give the gift of love. So we want to be sure that we're very loving and peaceful and kind, and that keeps us centered. It keeps us balanced, and it helps us to have this time of rejuvenation and peace during the day. Another thing you may want to consider is your time management. We know that many times when you get overwhelmed, when you've overscheduled, that can create some stress, and we want to avoid stress. Stress shows up on the body, it shows up in the body and on the body, on the skin. So you want to eliminate stress as much as possible, and time management is one way of doing that. Make sure you manage your time real well. It's okay to say no sometimes. Sometimes we have to say no. And we say it in love. You also want to nurture those relationships that are important to you. So within your scheduling, within that time management, make sure you have time for your loved ones. Make sure you have time for those relationships. You want to nurture those relationships because, again, having loving relationships, that contributes to our health and our well-being. So don't neglect those relationships. They're very important. And finally, number 9, it's very good to end the day with good thoughts. to end the day with prayer once again. And if you don't journal first thing in the morning, then maybe journaling at night. I have a journal here that I use, one of the many journals that I use, and you can journal either upon rising in the morning, or you may just want to journal at night, and again, start ending as you started, being very grateful in your journal as well, and maybe listing those lessons that you learned during the day. So once again, just wanted to take some time to remind you of some things, encourage you, motivate you. I know that many of you are probably already incorporating these things into your daily schedule, but for those of you who are not, just consider them. I think it'll make a difference. It'll bring you much peace. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please. If you've been blessed by what I've shared, subscribe. I'm going to get better and better, and we'll have more and more information. So go ahead, subscribe. That way you'll be notified when I upload new videos. And if you've been blessed, tell somebody else. Share this. And if you have any comments or questions, please always feel free. Contact me. I really enjoy being a part of this community, this way of communicating with people, even though you can see me. I may not be able to ever see you, but we are in relationship, so contact me. God bless you, and I'll see you next time.